Hey everyone! Today we're jumping into a story of incredible revival and a test of faith that feels straight out of an epic movie. We're looking at King Hezekiah in 2 Chronicles, chapters 31 and 32. This is a powerful account of what happens when a leader and his people get serious about their relationship with God. So after this massive nationwide Passover celebration we talked about last time, the people of Israel were fired up. They didn't just go home and forget about it. No, they went out across Judah and smashed all the idols, tore down the pagan altars, and got rid of everything that was pulling them away from God. It was a complete spiritual house cleaning. This wasn't just Hezekiah's command. It was a genuine change of heart from the people themselves. They were all in. Hezekiah then got things organized. He reinstated the priests and Levites to their duties at the temple. Think of it like restarting a major organization that had been shut down for years. It was a huge logistical effort. Hezekiah himself led by example, giving from his own property to support the daily sacrifices and offerings. He wasn't asking anyone to do something he wasn't willing to do himself. Then, he commanded the people of Jerusalem to bring their tithes, a tenth of their produce and livestock, to support the priests and Levites. And wow, did the people respond? From the 3rd month to the 7th month, they brought so much that they ended up with huge piles of goods. There was more than enough for everyone. The priests could finally focus on their ministry without worrying about where their next meal was coming from. Hezekiah set up a system to distribute everything fairly and honestly. This story shows us that when we put God first, both with our hearts and our resources, He blesses abundantly. It's all about trust and obedience. But just when things are going great, a new threat appears on the horizon. This is so true to life, isn't it? You have a spiritual high, and then bam, a major trial hits. The powerful and ruthless King Sennacherib of Assyria decides he wants to conquer Judah. His army was the most feared military machine of its time, and they had already conquered many nations. Sennacherib was confident Jerusalem would be next. So what does Hezekiah do? Does he panic? Well, he does get practical. He immediately works with his officials to cut off the water supply outside the city so the invading army would have a hard time. He strengthens the city walls, builds more towers, and manufactures a huge number of weapons and shields. He prepares for war. He appoints military commanders and gathers the people, telling them, "Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid of the king of Assyria or his mighty army, because there is a greater power with us than with him. He only has the power of human strength, but we have the Lord our God to help us and to fight our battles." What a speech! Hezekiah's confidence wasn't in his walls or his weapons. It was in God. Sennacherib, being the arrogant guy he was, starts the psychological warfare. He sends his commanders to the walls of Jerusalem to shout insults and threats in Hebrew, so all the people could understand. They mocked Hezekiah and they mocked God, saying things like, "Has any God of any nation ever been able to save his people from me? What makes you think your God can?" They were trying to break the people's spirit and turn them against Hezekiah. This is a critical moment. Hezekiah is deeply distressed. He tears his clothes, puts on sackcloth, and goes straight to the temple to pray. He also sends for the prophet Isaiah. Together they cry out to God for help. They didn't try to handle this on their own. They took their fear and desperation directly to the Lord, and God answers. That very night, the angel of the Lord went out to the Assyrian camp and, well, let's just say the Assyrian army had a very, very bad night. The next morning, 185,000 soldiers were gone. Sennacherib, defeated and humiliated, limped back home to his capital, Nineveh. And in a final twist of irony, while he was worshipping in the temple of his own God, his own sons assassinated him. The story ends with Hezekiah becoming incredibly famous and wealthy. Nations brought him gifts and he had immense honor. But the Bible also gives us a quick, honest look at a moment of pride. When he got sick and God healed him, he didn't respond with the humility he should have. He got a little puffed up and God had to humble him. But Hezekiah repented, and that's the key. So what's the big takeaway from all this? When we commit ourselves fully to God, like the people did in their giving, He provides. And when we face impossible odds like an unstoppable army, Our ultimate defense is our faith in God. Hezekiah prepared for battle, yes, but his true victory came when he prayed. It's a timeless lesson. Do what you can, but trust God to do what only He can. Thanks for watching. If this story encouraged you, hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next time.